Okay, I had to redo that live video because the other one went kablooey. So I'm here it's called St. Joe's. It's a semi-abandoned Catholic church. There's also a cemetery here. It's been abandoned for I don't know how many years. But anyway, the reason I'm out here is it's a good place to collect thoughts. I like to pray, and I'll do that after this video. So the vaccines. There's a lot of people. First I should start kind of back a little bit. In 2009, the place I used to work at used to have, that's when they started implementing the influenza vaccine. Well, I made a stink about it back then, and me and there's like a couple others. Because I was like, well, for one thing, I never liked the flu vaccine because I just don't feel right with it. And number two, I'm actually a vaccine person, okay? I'm not anti-vaxxer because, I think like the chicken pox, which done around when I was a kid. I got a nasty scar on my right leg area because of a chicken pox. So I do not like chicken pox, okay? I wish the vaccine existed. But those are one and done, your mumps, measles, that kind of stuff. What's this? Rotate. Whoa, things being drunk. I'm just not I don't like it because for one thing, it never really works. It doesn't. There's some years I've gotten lucky, I guess, and I haven't really gotten that sick or sick at all. But is that due to the vaccine? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it. And I remember touting that. I'm like, well, I don't want to get this stupid thing, Granted, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I think people you should absolutely, your kids should get, mumps, measles, that stuff. But that's a one-time vaccine. The problem with the flu vaccine, it's every year. Well, it's always mutating. So it's like, okay, what's the point? It doesn't really work. It really doesn't. My thing is it really doesn't work, okay? And you can find any, some science will say that it does and some say that it doesn't. Well, take your pick, which actually ties into this a little bit too about truth. Because just because somebody says that they subscribe to this, so that means it's gospel. That's not the case. There's always a shade of gray. Unfortunately, the devil loves gray. It's his favorite color. So, to kind of go with this vaccine stuff. So a lot of people, there was quite a few people that, well, of course, most of the people I used to work with are gone as far as quit because the place I used to work at is, it's not the great place it once was. But there was a few there that, they really didn't put up the fight. That's where the fight should have been gone with a lot of these places. Like, especially, I'm talking about medical places now. That's where the fight should have been started back then. I mean, where was my quote-unquote right to choose to not get that stuff? Well, it doesn't matter. You go get a different job, Cody. You're just a cog in the machine, and I get that. But now, a lot of those same people that didn't fight and had no problem with, oh yeah, go ahead and get another job, all of a sudden now the tables have turned. They get to taste their own medicine. They don't like that. Oh, no, that's not. Where's my right? My right. Yeah, I agree, but where were you back then? Too late. A lot of that stuff's too late. And a lot of them say, well, Cody, you just don't get it. The flu vaccine has been around forever. Yeah, and I get that. But the principle, you're forgetting about the principle. The principle is exactly this. The employer tells you to jump, you ask how high. That's how that works. Doesn't matter. If, like, we'll say Sanford or Prospera or Good Sam, if they wanted to, legally, if they wanted to make you wear a tattoo, get a tattoo on your body, or else you'll get fired, same concept. There's absolutely no difference there. Absolutely no difference. Hey, there's a combine. I can see him. Where'd he go? Combine man. So the concept's the exact same. Doesn't change. It's the exact same. But people are, in this country, you got to go back to the beginning. This country, you always hear this, right? Like, it's founded on all these Christian principles. We were the most Christian nation ever. That's not the case. If you actually look at those founding documents, what's really in there is man is the arbiter of truth. Man decides what truth is, not God. And the God they refer to in there is nature's God, okay? Not Jesus. It's not pointing to Jesus. There were some people, sure, that were, but not the majority. Most of those guys were deists. That is the honest truth. That's the honest truth. Now, you can certainly not choose to believe that and ignore reality. That's fine. But that's, the honest truth is that that's what it is. So the problem with that is if you don't have a cornerstone to what truth is, well, if man makes it up, that is what happens. That's why we're in what's in the predicament we're in. It's whoever's in charge decides what truth is. Well, that's ridiculous, but that's how it is. And it's created a big problem. Yeah, forcing people to get this vaccine is immoral and evil. It is. But because you can do a lot of crap under the word safety. You can. In my opinion, anyway. But, being this country supposedly a Christian nation, well, most people should agree with me then, right? But they won't, because most people are not really, most of the country is not really Christian. I would say, yeah, a quarter of it maybe, but most of it's not. And even then, Christianity is divided amongst itself. I can go to Bismarck right now, and I actually know, I won't say their names, and I won't even name the churches either. I know there's some pastors and some churches that have no problem with, divorce and remarriage, same-sex marriage, abortion, contraception, and each one's different. Well, how can we honestly be, one thing about America, right? We subscribe that, well, all religions are the same and they all come back to truth. How can that be? How can it be that, cheating is fine in one denomination, and I'll use a Christian denomination, but the other one, it's not fine? Something doesn't really add up there. My common sense, my BS senses are tingling a little bit there. Something doesn't really add up. But I mean, you could even go with, polygamy. I mean, there's so many other religions out there too, but something's not right when it comes to that. So the truth, man makes up truth. Well, today they're saying, well, you got to get the vaccine. Tomorrow you got to get something else. That's what the new truth is. And you got this whole thing about my right. Well, what exactly is a right? Let's go back to that. Let's pretend God doesn't exist. Where does that come from then? What is a right? It comes from the government? Okay, that doesn't make much sense. Because, well, what about my right to, like the right to bear arms? We could easily lose that amendment. Easily. Well, our right's eternal? Another thing, are we talking about, let's say I want to not ever cut my lawn ever again. Ever. I'm just lazy pile of crap. I just want to cut my lawn ever, okay? The problem is, and what's it based on? My based on is just because I'm lazy. That's the whole thing. What about my neighbor, though? He or she doesn't want their right to not have their property go down the toilet because my yard looks like Fern Gully. There's a big problem with that. Are we talking about rights? His right for that and my right. Well, whose right wins there? Same, talking about like with the HIPAA thing. And that's the biggest crap that people actually believe that, well, my HIPAA right to not being asked. Yeah, people can ask you whatever they want. They can ask you whatever they want. And, any store, they can deny you for whatever reason. Realistically, they could ask you for the Social Security card. If you don't give it to them, they can deny you access. The right to refusal. How many people got this thing that you don't have to shop there. You're not forced to shop there. That would be, the ultimate inhumane thing. And that's coming next, right? You must shop at this store. But, this country has had a long time coming. This should not be a shocker to people, but it is for some reason. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot be an Olympic athlete, or you want to train to be an Olympic athlete, but you have to be a couch potato and eat potato chips and eat pizza, never exercise, and expect that you're going to win first place in the Olympics. It just will not happen. You have to commit to one or the other. Life you can't have it both ways. I know that myself. Believe me, I've done a lot of stupid stuff staying in the middle, and it just doesn't work. You have to choose. You can't have it and there's a thing called subjective morality. That's what a lot of this country is people they don't really believe in, the Ten Commandments don't exist. So everything is relative, or relativism, they call it, where everything is relative. You can find, we'll use cheating as an example. Well, like let's say you're married to your spouse and you decide you're going to cheat on them because, well, they made fun of me today. Today it's okay, but tomorrow it's not. You can do that. You have the free will to do that, but there's consequences for that. Don't think that you can just get away with that. But it's really sad. And a lot of people too, Dr. Fauci talked about having the right to never get sick. Well, the problem with that is then anytime you say there's a right to it, somebody has to give it to you or enforce that right. How do you enforce something like that? Okay, I'm a bigger guy. How about I have the right to never have a heart attack from eating too much cheese pizza? Okay, that means everybody is entitled then they have to make sure that that's accommodated for me. How do you even enforce something like that without taking my right to eating a pizza away and eating healthy? I would say I don't want to eat healthy. My right is to keep eating junk food. But according to Dr. Fauci, I have a right to not be sick, even though I still want to eat my junk food. It doesn't make much sense there. Of course, he's talking about with the flu and stuff like that and the COVID, but still, be careful how you choose your words. When even, in broad spectrum can really bite you in the rear end for anything. Another thing I think Fauci forgets, and a lot of people forget, this is not a comfortable thing to show. That's why I'm out here. But all of us, every person here has this destiny right here. That's our destiny. That's our destiny right there. Ultimately, we all go there. And another harsh reality, this is not a popular thing to say in America, but not everybody goes to heaven. Jesus himself says that, it's anybody that's worth their weight in salt knows that's not true. You got a lot of Protestants, you got a lot of Catholics, a lot of Catholic bishops that say everybody goes to heaven now, or mostly everybody. Which, as a Catholic, that's why I'm out here. I'm going to pray. When this is over, I'm going to pray a rosary. If everybody goes to heaven, there's no point in praying. Why? Everybody goes to heaven. What's the point of praying for these people? Now, if you're not a Catholic, you're not going to believe it anyway, because everybody goes to heaven, so, or mostly goes to heaven. But even then, if everybody goes to heaven, why are we even arguing about this with the vaccines and all that stuff? Who cares? Big deal. Everybody goes to heaven. We're all doing right? There's no such thing as good or evil then. We're all going to heaven. Yay, hooray. That's our reality, though. We all face that. But that vaccine stuff, it's inhumane. It is. I don't agree with it, but that should have been stopped years ago with the flu stuff. You cannot have it both ways. We cannot have it for a lot of those people that you need to get the flu vaccine, darn it. Damn it anyway. But when it comes to COVID, no, I don't want that. You can't. You got to have it. Options for both. You can't choose like that. I mean, you can, but then you get chaos like we're in now. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's an absolute mess. But, it's this country, it's just a matter of time before it falls apart. I mean, it already is. I mean, to me, with this stuff, with this, vaccine cards and stuff, it's really obviously the beginning of the end. It clearly is the beginning of the end. As far as what we know America as, it's going to look certainly a lot different, freedom, what does that even mean, and, you look at a lot of things too, like, pornography. Look at the damage pornography has done. Look at it. But, it's your freedom of speech, right? It's your expression of freedom. That's an abuse of freedom. That's not an expression. But look at the damage it's done. Why isn't that outlawed? Well, and he had, Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about, he said, F your freedom when it comes to this vaccine. Okay, I would flip that on him and say, oh yeah? I want you to say that exact same thing because he's a Catholic and should be pro-life and against abortion. Say that to people that are pro-choice and, or I should just say that are for pro-abortion. I wonder what, I wonder what kind of response you're going to get then. Those same people that say that, right? Well, okay, then how about you don't get an abortion then? Hypocrites. Hypocrites, hypocrites, hypocrites. That's what they are. They're damn hypocrites. And, who cares about an Austrian anyway? Like, everybody has their opinion, My opinion don't matter here either, right? And that's fine. I'm just saying, that's wondering why this country's the way it is. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this country was set up that way from day one. There was a snake hidden in those documents from day one. And it's just come to fruition now. Like Benjamin Franklin said, when they had everything set up and everything, we've given you a republic, madam, if you can hold on to it. Well, why couldn't you hold on to it? Because once the morals go, bye, see you later. That's what happens. That's what happens. And, what is truth? Like when Pontius Pilate looks at Jesus in the face, what is truth? Looking at him in the face, right? Well, this country clearly can't decide on that. It's a big, big, big issue. people are watching here. Oh my God. I actually had 2 fans. Wow. But that's why it is. You know, everybody wants this kind of big mixing bowl of everything and every theology, and everybody has the right for this and that. You get chaos. That's what happens. That's why you cannot. That's what happens where everybody tries to. They call that is it pluralism, where basically everybody, you know, everybody stays in this corner, you stay in that corner, you know, that kind of thing, and you just leave each other. That does not work. Somebody is always intruding on your rights, or what do you want to call them, rights, but intruding on your own ideals. Either you're imposing your ideals on them, or they're imposing them on you. There's not this, I don't even want to call her my aunt, an uncle's, you know, I won't get into it, but she, you know, basically said that, yeah, we can get along, you know, everybody just kind of gets along and stuff. It's like, no, we don't. That's not how that works. People just don't leave each other alone and just do their own thing, and everything just gets along like in some weird Candyland, you know, thing. It does not work that way. Everybody knows that in their own personal life. But yeah, it's really sad. Actually, I'll go and explore the church here a bit while I'm taking this live video. There's only so much cemeteries you can look at. But yeah, it's really sad where the country's headed, but it's just, we deserve it too. You know, I mean, back prior to 1950, I mean, really, you had some people that paid attention to politics, but, you know, most people didn't really pay attention to politics because there wasn't really a need to. And now look at me, everybody's got their own political opinions, and, you know, that's why you talk about people talking about having a civil war. Let me ask you, what does that even look like now? It was pretty simple for the most part back when we had the original Civil War, you know, with slavery and stuff like that. There's so many issues now. So many issues. Well, you know, some people, you know, gay marriage, some are against gay marriage. I mean, there's so many different, I mean, we could go on abortion, pro-life, you know. Actually, in North Dakota, at Bismarck, this was back in December last year, I went around and I asked a bunch of people at the pro-life rally, and all those people were, you know, they were against abortion, you know, the actual act of abortion on every level. But 90% of those people were for contraception and gay marriage. Well, why is that? You know, not saying that really, you know, do they correlate together? Well, contraception does. That, to me, a lot of this abortion stuff too is a colossal waste of time as far as trying to stop it, unless you stop the contraception thing. But you're just not getting people to do that. Not now. You know, it's just not going to happen. A lot of people out here. Oh, what's going on here? 1, 2. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure when this was actually like officially abandoned. They actually do it's not like abandoned, like I said. It's actually got power and stuff. They do masses out here, like, oh, it's once every, I don't know what Father Ben's told me. It's like a couple times a year. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. How many people actually watched here? It says guest request. Your viewers. What's this? Recently invited. Invite friends to watch. Okay, doesn't matter. Anyway, I could sit here and ramble all day, but I'm gonna stay out here when it gets dark. That's my plan. Watch the sunset. Who else is watching? Somebody else watching? Oh no. Anyway. That's kind of my ramblings for the night. Yeah, that's just why, you know, the country is the way it is. We just, most people, you know, as far as as a whole, you know, it's the arbiters of truth. Like, what is the arbiters of truth? You know, if man is the arbiter of truth, well, then we shouldn't be surprised that this happened. And, you know, how can we honestly, okay, here's another question. How can we tell them that they're wrong if your person doesn't really believe in God? You can't. What are you basing that on? That's just your personal opinion. On both sides, really. They can't tell you you're wrong, and you can't tell them they're wrong. Well, that's quite a conundrum, don't you think? But it's really sad. It's really sad how this all ended like this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. Man, that's something else. I'm going to go inside the church here quick. Let's see here. Darn bugs. There used to actually be a house around here. I actually looked into some photos. So as far as I know, the only way to get to the basement is through this old way, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, there used to be a house around here, like a parish house. And yeah, this is the way to the basement. I suppose we could start off with a house on Haunted Hill. Oh, the door's unlocked. Knock, knock. Who's there? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I can't get in that way. Off from the outside? Weird. Huh. Weird. We have another way in there, not? You would think. Well, we'll go to the main entrance then. Looks like it was nice at one time. Wasn't everything though. Smells like mold. See, there's still power. I did not mean to hit that. Hey, I was born in 1986. And I feel old. Must be some kind of a family tree thing, a cemetery. Okay, it tells you all the names of... Jeez. Interesting. No crucifix. They pulled it out. That's kind of weird. Why would they do that? These are just as easy to steal as the crucifix is. Maybe not. I don't know. St. Joseph. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Altar. Communion rail. For those that don't know, in the old days, when they received communion in the Catholic Church, they used to kneel like so. And I'll try to emulate it. And then they would, stick their tongue like this. And then they would receive. I'm actually kneeling at the moment. That's how it should be. It really is. It actually creates reverence because putting it in the hand doesn't mean nothing. It just really, it kind of cheapens everything. But there was a pope. Which pope was it? He said that modernism, which is, as the synthesis of all heresies. And he's right, because it just waters everything down. Everything, the church needs to change with the times, Gay marriage needs to be fine, and then, all this stuff. I mean, there's so many things, you could go on and on and on. Here's the old confessionals. Oh, wow. I wonder if this was moved, because this seems really odd. Like, when I grew up, on the farm and stuff, and like the country churches and stuff, like these were, to me, they were like over this way more. This seems a little out of the way. Well, let's see what oh yeah, yeah, that's why. It was moved. I was gonna say, it seems like an odd spot to have it. Huh. Yeah. It's a nice church though. I guess they still do weddings and stuff here and funerals sometimes. I doubt they do too many weddings around here. It looks kind of dusty, but funerals maybe. I could see that more. I wonder if there's another way. What's this? You can't be serious. That's the only way to the basement is the other way? Huh. No, that can't be right. Let's find another way. I refuse to believe that's the only way down there. Well, if the floor gives out, then and then I'll just say Geronimo. That can't be the only way down there. Really? Well, I mean, it could be, but it just seems kind of weird. This must be a really old church then, with that kind of design. Ha! Where there's smoke, there's fire. Ugh. Oh, well, I live twice, right? As they say in the 007 movie. Jeez. Huh? Oh. Mortar mix. Okay. All right, try not to die, Cody. Maybe a different day, but not today. Books. Man, how about spider webs? Huh. Interesting. I'm actually surprised I got cell phone signal down here. New Testament. Interesting. Lectionary. Huh. Christian Mothers Men's Society. Yeah. Less spooky that way. We gotta have lights. Man, this hasn't been touched in years. Those are like probably giant rats down here. Probably my guess. Well, looks like a typical parish. That seriously can't be the only way up there. Just that way? Fire extinguisher. Huh. Kind of looks like United States of America soon, right? Gee. There's seriously not another way up there? If you've suffered from mesothelioma, please call. Yeah, that's about it. All right, what's this crap? Like a cellar? Wheelchair ramp? What that is? No, kinda. Well, it's like a horse. It's like one of those cow trough thingies. Weird. Oh, there's another door. Interesting. I can't believe I actually have somebody still watching this. That's amazing. So that's where that door was. So the other one I'm gonna head outside here. I'm gonna see where this goes. Yeah, I've had enough of that crap. Knock, knock. Oh, I see. How did I miss that door? Huh. A lot of nests. Well, I suppose that's enough for the night. Thanks for watching.